Ladies and gentlemen, we got some big breaking news right now. As you guys can see, Donald Trump is currently at the Navy Army game with Elon Musk, JD Vance. I think Daniel Penny is there. The crowd is going crazy. A lot of winning. If you're in MAGA, if you voted for Trump, you're feeling very good. But while he was at this game that the whole nation has their eye on, big breaking news just came out of ABC. George Stephanopoulos, and ABC, that means Disney, ABC, to apologize to Trump and are forced to pay $15 million to settle defamation suit. Now, we have the actual incident in the video with George Stephanopoulos and Nancy Mace when he said some defaming things about Donald J. Trump. The View producers also caught on camera panicking because this lawsuit was on its way to being settled and the View was about to cost them even more money. So we got big news about that. But ladies and gentlemen, Trump can't stop winning, and that's good news for the nation because a lot of things are looking good. Just when you thought Trump couldn't stop losing about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, where he was getting hit with lawsuit after lawsuit, where he was the one on the other side of this, where he potentially was facing prison time and all this crazy stuff, case after case. Now he can't stop winning. So we got big news, big payback news. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see right here, ABC must pay Trump $15 million, settles out of defamation lawsuit, and will publicly apologize to Trump and Fox. So now we're going to be expecting the public apology from ABC. Is it going to be done by The View? Is it going to be done by George Stephanopoulos? Who's getting fired? What's happening? Here we go. So this has to do with a lot, but now we know why The View was panicking. Now we know why The View was forced to read legal notes live. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a listen.
I see you. I see you over there.
I have a very quick statement.
It's not going to be that quick.
Pete Hegseth has denied any wrongdoing. His lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. No charges were ever brought.
You rushed me for that? We'll be right back.
So legal note after legal note. And now we know why The View was panicking. Well, because this lawsuit was about to be settled. And what's crazy about this lawsuit is $15 million in defamation. This is a huge hit for ABC News. Now, we have the actual footage for it. But before we get to the actual footage of when it happened, here we go. ABC News and their top anchor, George Stephanopoulos, have reached a settlement with Donald Trump in his defamation suit, which will result in the news network paying the president-elect $15 million. The settlement was publicly filed on Saturday, revealing the two parties have come to an agreement and avoided a costly trial. According to the settlement, ABC News will pay $15 million to a charitable contribution to a presidential foundation and museum to be established by or for the plaintiff. So Donald Trump is having his way. Stephanopoulos and ABC will issue statements of regret. Man, I can't wait for this. They're going to issue statements of regrets as an editor's note at the bottom of March 10th, 2024. Okay, so here we go. Online article about comments made earlier this year that prompted Trump to file that defamation suit. Now, we remember when he filed that suit because literally it was one of the craziest things in the world. If you don't know what the moment was, here it is. Buckle up. This is what just won Trump a defamation lawsuit against ABC News. Take a listen.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money. And I find that offensive.
I'm asking you about
as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. For my political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who wasn't illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate?
It's crazy that George Slapadopoulos right here didn't realize that he just lost so much credibility within his own ABC, Disney. The View is already facing pressure to be shut down. That's why they got to read so many legal notes. But it's so crazy that he's here shaming a victim and then calling Trump a you know what. He was calling Trump a I can't say the word because YouTube will demonetize this video, but he literally, like, this is what you call a beta male.
You're asking a rape victim.
And there's no question about that. And you've courageously talked about
because I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're supporting
me. You're
someone who's been found liable for rape. Actually, I'm not trying to.
You are. That's exactly.
You're not answering the question.
I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you have to answer the question. Why are you supporting someone who's been found liable for rape?
I just answered your question.
What is the answer?
He was not found guilty in a criminal court of law. It was sexual abuse. It wasn't actually rape, by the way. And E. Jean Carroll.
So there you go. She's correcting him again. How in the world can you work for ABC and not know the actual facts of the case? Everybody I've ever dealt with, how can you support him for this? He was found liable in a civil suit. He was not found guilty in a criminal court. Very big difference here. This is why these things are important. But he didn't know the difference. And she's explaining over to him, and he's trying to shame her for voting for Trump. And she's explaining to him why. This legitimately cost him so much money.
Joked about all the money she's going to get and made a mockery out of this case. And I think that's offensive. There's a reason why women don't come forward. And when you have someone who says that they're raped and they make a mockery out of this civil court judgment, it's offensive to other women. It makes it harder for other women to come forward when another woman has made a mockery of it.
You said women don't come forward because they are afraid. They are afraid because they're defamed
and shamed
by those
who you're trying to shame me this morning.
They are afraid to come forward, as you said, because they are defamed by those who commit the rape. That's what Donald Trump has been found guilty of doing.
He defended himself.
He was not found guilty of that.
Over that and denies that it ever happened. But he was not found guilty in a criminal court of law.
Wow, how can he mess up on the air that bad? George Slapadopoulos. Wow, ABC News, George, let's read this article real quick. ABC News, George Stephanopoulos inaccurately said that Trump was found guilty. He said it 10 times. 10 times. Legal gurus were watching this video and they couldn't believe it. ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret the statements regarding President Donald J. Trump made during an interview with by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy Mace on ABC's This Week on March 10th, 2024. The statement reads, Trump filed a defamation suit against Stephanopoulos after he asserted that Trump was found liable for this right here, can't read that out loud, in a civil case during a contentious interview with Representative Nancy Mace last March. After playing a clip of Mace discussing being a victim of rape, Stephanopoulos asked her, how do you square your endorsement for Donald J. Trump with the testimony we just saw? He says, you've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape, for defaming the victim of rape, said George Stephanopoulos, inaccurately, again alluding to the legal victory by Trump accuser E. Jean Carroll. Stephanopoulos repeated that claim 10 times during his spat with Mace, despite the fact that the jury actually determined Trump was liable for sexual abuse and not rape, which has a distinct definition under New York law. How does he not know this? This is why you saw the ladies on The View panicking so bad to read those legal notes. They had to constantly keep making connections, and they had to constantly keep retracting statements. Crazy. After the federal jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse, but not rape, Judge Lewis Kaplan wrote in a letter ruling that the judge that just because Carol failed to prove rape within the meaning of the New York penal law does not mean that she failed to prove that Mr. Trump raped her. Who actually believes her? I'm not sure, but she actually joked about it. Literally, I don't know if you guys remember it. E. Jean Carroll made Anderson Cooper very uncomfortable, and that's what Nancy Mace was talking about. Anderson Cooper clip. That was one of the most bizarre clips after she had won the defamation suit. Now this comes. Let me see if I can find it. Anderson Cooper. This is it right here. This is the clip. See if we can hear it.
Victim.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt. It just, you know.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Ladies and gentlemen, does that sound like a victim? What the hell was that? This is just, it's crazy that we got to go back to this. He went to break right away. He literally went to break right away. That's insane. And you expect us to, as United States of America's citizens and voters, you expect us to say, well, she makes a lot of sense here. No, she does not. I'm sorry. She sounds crazy. Sounds insane. Here's Nancy Mace on Fox basically speaking about the horrifying questions from George Stephanopoulos that now cost them so much money. Take a listen.
All right, let's bring back Congresswoman Nancy Mace. We're going to do it by the cell phone this time because I really want to talk to her and be able to hear her. We had some technical difficulties earlier. Congresswoman, thank you so very much. Well, as you know,
thank you, Harris.
A lot of coverage of this particular exchange with another anchor yesterday. Let's watch.
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
I was raped at the age of 16, and I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about
No,
Donald
you
Trump.
are shaming me.
Women won't come forward because they're defamed by those who perpetrate rape. Donald Trump
They are judged and they're shamed.
What you're doing is defending a man who's been found liable for rape. I don't understand how you can do that.
Not in a criminal court of law. This was a civil judgment over sexual abuse.
I mean, that was unbelievable. First of all, what was that like to sit there and be questioned that way? And what did you say what you wanted to say?
Well, no, I was so shocked and dismayed by the line of questioning. George Stephanopoulos tried to bully me and shame me as a rape survivor over my support for Donald Trump, which is insane to me because he wasn't found guilty of rape anywhere. But the other thing is that George Stephanopoulos, he has never felt the shame of rape. He does not know what this journey is like. It's a journey of healing over a lifetime. And I will tell you, I've been built for tough. I've been through some very tough things, including the Citadel. The Citadel made me tougher than I've ever been. That guy playing Mr. Tough Guy yesterday, he would not last 30 seconds at the Citadel, the military college of South Carolina. He has no clue what he's talking about.
What was it that, do you think, brought about the back and forth? I mean, you seem to signal enough with your body language and your words that you felt bullied at that moment. And then you spoke the words, "Stop shaming me."
Yeah, I did. That's why women won't come forward when they're assaulted, is because of the judgment and the shame. And here he was judging me, bullying me, and shaming me as a rape victim for my political choices. And it's wrong, but it's almost like rape is bad unless you're a Republican, and then we're going to shame you for it. And the way that the left reacted, it's just a reflection of how bad Joe Biden's numbers are, that this is what they do to rape survivors, to rape victims, is to shame them for their political choices here. And, you know, I said my piece. I thought I did it more respectfully than I should have, than I probably wanted to. But it was horrifying. And you could see at the very beginning of that interview, I winced. You can see in my facial expression because I was there to talk about 2024. I wasn't brought on to talk about my own rape. I didn't agree to any of that. And he shares the speech I gave.
Wow, she didn't agree to any of that. She literally went there to talk about the election at the time. This was March 10th, 2024, earlier this year. And he ended up just talking about that, trying to shame her for voting for Trump. And he didn't even know the facts of the actual case. Crazy.
We have breaking news. ABC News and George Stephanopoulos have reached a settlement with President-elect Trump in his defamation lawsuit. The network agrees to pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to Trump's presidential library. ABC and Stephanopoulos will also issue statements of regret as an editor's note to the March 2024 article and television segment.
Wow. I can't wait for this. Who are they going to do all the shows? Is ABC now recommended to do all their shows, including The View? George Stephanopoulos, all the new shows are going to have to read this note? Is that what it is?
ABC and Stephanopoulos will also issue statements of regret as an editor's note to the March 2024 article and television segment that prompted Trump to file the lawsuit earlier this year. Trump sued Stephanopoulos after he asserted in an interview that Trump was found, quote, liable for rape in a civil case, despite the fact that a jury actually determined Trump was liable for, quote, sexual abuse, which has a distinct definition under New York law.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. So they have to read another note, which once again, The View is familiar with reading. The View legal notes. They've read so many. Too bad that somebody like George Stephanopoulos, who is one of their top guys, allegedly from what I'm reading, is one of their top dogs out there in ABC. He forgot to read a legal note. So here we go. Is it gonna look something like this?
You have a legal note. I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism, that DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
I have a legal note. You want to take this one, Joy, or are you Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
Why are they forced to read that? Well, to try to avoid what just happened to George Stephanopoulos, because they knew that what just happened to George Stephanopoulos was already going to cost them millions of dollars. But the fact that you have to read a legal note means that you were probably making defamatory statements throughout the show that then the producers panicked and had to step in and say, well, I think we got to read a legal note here because we really don't want to be sued, because the things that you guys are saying are causing us to give you guys legal notes. That's why they're receiving legal notes. They're not receiving legal notes for the fun of it. They're receiving legal notes because they can care less about the actual facts about what they're saying. But guess what? I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The Pete Hegseth situation, the Matt Gaetz situations is literally the same thing as this. Trump decided to just, after the episode with Nancy Mace, he decided to go and actually file a big, large lawsuit that then they had to settle. ABC had to settle because they knew that this trial was going to cost them so much money. And Trump took the chance, and Trump took the gamble, and he won. I'm hoping that more people are able to do this because there's so many like MSNBC does this all the time. I'm not, look, I get it. It costs a lot of money. You have to have deep pockets to sue a network, and Trump has those deep pockets. Maybe not everybody else can sue them at all times, but bro, I would love to see the same thing happen to MSNBC as it has happened to ABC. Because CNN as well. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure to smash the like button right now. Smash it. We got big news coming out. I'm going to do some more reporting later on drones activity. A lot more stuff happening with that. Trump at the Navy-Army game. That's also happening right now. So if you guys want some more news, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Make sure. Also, I saw somebody donated, so I want to say thank you for your donation. I truly appreciate anybody that sent any donations. Thank you. So we got some big stuff happening in the world of politics. I hope you guys enjoyed this version of the news. Once again, smash the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.